Hello, everyone. This is Detective Tyler Sutherland here in Battle Creek, Michigan. In this video, I'm going to continue my definition of a hybrid gang, part 2. From the previous video, this is a previous recording of one of my lectures in conference this year, 2023, in Chicago, Illinois. Always get a hold of us. We're at our website, www.resilientresponse.us. You can also follow us on Facebook with our Resilient Response LLC business page. Thank you. Enjoy the video.
Essentially, it's a fashion trend. Even some of your older gang members, right, especially if they've gotten out of prison, if they were what we'd call a traditional gang member, right, signs, symbols, rules, they will fall into this as well because it's how can I get more attention? How can I get more likes? That's why they changed their name. That's why their hashtags and their emojis constantly change because somebody else is getting attention. Well, I want to get that too. Now we got our explanation of why things will change so much. So hopefully this is starting to get a little easier for you. So gone are the days of this dynamic, right? The old gang member being able to talk some wisdom to the young bucks. Because these hybrid gangs, they don't care about tradition. They're not going to listen to the old guys. They kind of do whatever they want to do, as they call it. They don't care about relationships. They're terrible at having bridges of resupply. So when it comes to guns and drugs, since they've pissed everybody off, they're going to steal everything. They got to steal their own drugs, so you're going to get a lot of drug rips. They're going to go rip all your dope dealers in your town so they can have their own product. Now in Michigan, I know many of you in your states, marijuana is recreational use. So all these dispensaries have popped up all over the state. So what do you think our gang members figured out to go do to make money? Go break into all these dispensaries. So one of the cases I just finished up that we're starting to get into the prosecution level, over 15 of our local hybrid gang members went across the state all last year breaking into dispensaries. We were able to put enough evidence on them to put them in all these places, so we charged them through enterprise with our state statute. Right? So that's a new trait now that I can bring into my audience and say, crime spree, new crimes that these gang members are into, right? How they will evolve because of what they see everybody else doing, right? Things like that. They're going to steal a lot of guns, so you're going to get a lot of break-ins to your sporting goods stores, your home invasions. They'll break into the houses to steal the gun safes, right? So anytime you catch word of one of your hybrid crews getting their hands on guns or they're involved in robberies, chances are they're trying to get their hands on some guns because they don't have a resupply because, again, they've pissed everybody off. What happens with many of our hybrid gang members when they go to prison, and the only way we found out about this, because speaking from a street gang investigator standpoint, we think we know it all, right? We think we don't need to go talk to the corrections officers in the county jail or the state prison. We don't need to go to the juvenile home and talk to the people that work there, right? We think we got enough going on. But I'm here to tell you, and we're going to see here in a little bit in the next hour, you have to tap into all those resources, especially with our hybrid gangs. Because these young guys, they're in the juvenile home, and they're telling it all, right? They're rapping, they're telling anybody to listen to because they love to brag. In the jails, in the prisons, right? So all these other places, we have to be plugged in as street gang investigators to have a handle on the evolution of that gang and that gang culture as it continues to change. What will happen is when our gang members go to prison, though, adult prison, whether state or federal, they'll go in there, and whatever they were at the street level, they will kind of set that to the side because when they go to prison, they will hook up with other gang members from their area that's familiar to them. And that was something that our prison gang investigators had told us as we were trying to build one of our first gang cases for prosecution. They said, yeah, your guys in Battle Creek, right, they might rep this, but they come into prison. The other guys they know from the area, the counties next door, that's who they hooked up with. So now they learn this whole other cross-training dynamic. We call it when our gang member goes to college. They learned a lot of that traditional stuff, right? The people nation, the folk nation, right? The whole history and all the knowledge, right? GD's book of knowledge and things like that. Now they get released from prison. They come out and they teach all their homeboys all this cool prison stuff. And now all of a sudden, that's where we get the mix-match combination of the color red and a six-pointed star and a pitchfork, right? And that's where the confusion comes if you don't understand that dynamic. So a lot of that cross-training will happen if any of your gang members have had exposure in prison. So take the time and talk to your corrections officers in those prisons, even in the county jails. They're going to tell you that's exactly what goes on. The faces that are familiar, that's who they hook up with, and then they learn all about that stuff. The transfer portal, that's kind of the phrase that we came up with it, because remember what we said about how they'll fight with each other amongst their own allies? Well, now all of a sudden you're going to have rivals working together. Literally, Bloods and Crips will come together to make money, because it's about money. What can get me more attention, more money, right? So during their work hours, as we call it, you might have blue and red working together selling dope or whatever their criminal enterprise is. And then at nighttime, they go back to their neighborhoods and they shoot it out with each other. And I'm here to tell you it's this way across the country, right? Don't think it's just weird in your town. No, that's what's happening everywhere. That's why, again, many of you that are traditional gang investigators, or that's what you've had in your town, this is so bizarre to you right now that you're like, I don't know if we can even call them a gang because they work together. No, it's still a criminal enterprise. It's still gang activity. They still have their own sets and position within the gang. It's just a new way to make money, right? They're still going to be beefing with each other or fighting each other later on after work hours.